We're going to be talking about staying focused. Staying focused. It's important during this day and age to stay focused and not let anyone sidetrack you. You know, when you're in deep thought about something and someone taps you on the shoulder and interrupts you, how that annoys you so terribly. I feel that way when God is speaking to me directly about one thing and then somebody else comes to me and says, well, you know, God said this. And I know I just heard God for myself. Now, he may have said that to you, but you need to take that stuff down the road somewhere because he didn't say it to me. And that's the confidence in knowing his voice, because people will have you all messed up. I know a lady that listened to this pastor, and the pastor went all off in tongues, whatever. I'm not going to mock tongues because it's a holy thing of God, but she went all off in tongues and told this lady that this man was her husband. And this woman went through 11 years of hell from listening to that woman when she had already heard God say that he was not the one. But a pastor that she admired and looked up to came and said, oh, he's the one, he's the one. And I want you to know that woman went and married him. And her life was a living hell. That's why it's important to know God's voice and speak to God directly for yourself. And then when someone else comes to you with something else, you won't listen. Like Nehemiah, the 6th chapter, you're going to stay on that wall and you're going to continue to do that work for the Lord, and you're not going to come down. Amen. Stay focused. Know his voice. Listen to his voice. 1 Samuel, the 3rd chapter, Samuel started hearing that voice. He heard it 3 times. And Eli had backslid and had gotten kind of sorry. But at least he was man enough to tell Samuel, hey, that's God talking to you. Next time you hear that voice, answer it. A lot of pastors have no integrity, and they will not tell you that. They'll say, oh, we're going to pray for you because you're hearing voices. And they'll literally convince you that there's something wrong with you. They just want to control you, and they don't want you to know the voice of God for yourself so they can continue to tell you what to do so that you stay under their thumb. Thank God for leaders. I'm not anti-leader, but a true leader will not only teach you, but get you to the point to where you raise up to be able to teach others also and know the voice of God for yourself. Philippians, the 4th chapter, talks about the things that are just and pure and true. Think on those things. If you don't know God's voice, you can't begin to think on those type of things. You're always going to think about something negative or something that someone else has told you. You can't even think for yourself because you're brainwashed. 1 John 4:1 says, beloved, believe not every spirit. Test the spirits. How are you going to test the spirit if you don't even know God's voice? Anything somebody tells you, you're going to be like, okay. And you're just going to be like a yes man or they gal. Because you can't hear God for yourself. You're at a grave disadvantage, and you will be pushed around, hit back and forth like a badminton birdie or a tennis ball on a court by Serena Williams. I mean, you'll be that ball just being hit back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until you raise up and hear God's voice for yourself. I mentioned Serena because she's one of my favorite tennis players, but I think about that ball. A person that doesn't know God is just at the fate of wherever that racket hits that ball. And that's where you're at.